There are special connections in the du'as that we make for our brothers and sisters in these last 2 nights, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, especially if it coincides, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, with that night. And subhanAllah, as the Imam was reciting, one of the glad tidings that we take from the Quran, because Ramadan is a month of glad tidings. The scholars say, look, Surah Al-Ahqaf is the call. Surah Muhammad is also known as Surah Al-Qital. After the call, there's the battle. And after the battle, there comes Surah Al-Fatih. Comes the opening. And so even in the way that the surahs are in the Quran, the call, the battle, the victory, we are an ummah that believes in victory. And we believe that victory is inevitable because we're calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir, Al-Jabbar. We're calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has guaranteed it, but on His time subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what do we do with the people of Gaza and this cause in these particular nights? And I want to give a few tips. Number 1, everything that you are making dua for yourself for, instead of thinking about it like some isolated dua that you leave as a portion of your dua, everything that you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you, ask Allah to give them as well. We don't want to have that separation in our priorities, to where we make our personal du'as and we exert ourselves and then we throw in the cause of Gaza or the cause of the oppressed as just something that we tag on to the end. You're asking Allah to sustain you, ask Allah to sustain them. You're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow you to conquer your personal circumstances, let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow them to conquer their obstacles as well. Everything you're asking Allah for, the removal of ham, the removal of stress, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give that to them. You're asking Allah for acceptance for yourself, ask Allah to accept them as well. That every single person that has died in Gaza is granted shahada, and that every single person who has been injured physically or emotionally or mentally is compensated with their share from Al-Jannah. Allahumma ameen. So that's the first thing, tie it all in. And this was something, subhanAllah, we had a webinar very early on with Sheikh Tahir Wyatt where we looked at ways to make dua for the people of Gaza. Every dua in the Quran that you make for yourself, you can make for them. So, رَبَّنَا أَفْرِغْ عَلَيْنَا صَبْرًا وَثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَنَا وَانصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Oh Allah, pour upon us patience and make our feet firm. Say, رَبَّنَا أَفْرِغْ عَلَيْهِمْ صَبْرًا وَثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَهُمْ وَانصُرْهُمْ عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ. Right? By simply replacing the dua for yourself and making it for them instead. رَبَّنَا آتِهِمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِهِمْ عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Give them a portion of your dua by allocating some of it to them every single time you make dua for yourself. But subhanAllah, here's what I want you to pay attention to with Laylatul Qadr. And I was thinking about all the ways that our du'as for Gaza relate to the moment. Laylatul Qadr is a night of power. And you believe as a mu'min that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has power over all things. So call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His names and attributes of power, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala overcome those who think they have power. Number 1. Number 2, the notion of the future. Laylatul Qadr is a night in which we seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing for the year to come. And when we call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His power and for the future, those are two things that are deeply intertwined with the moment that we are in with our brothers and sisters in Palestine right now, and in Sudan, and in Congo, and in Yemen, wherever they are, subhanAllah, the oppressed, and in Syria, and in Somalia. Make dua for them, dear brothers and sisters, and know that Allah Azza wa Jal has the power, and that Allah determines the future as well. His power overcomes the present, even if you don't see it. His future is inevitable, even if others think they control it. It's only a matter of time. And so you're asking Allah with His power, and you're asking Allah to decree for our brothers and sisters victory this year. Make that dua sincerely. And if you think that on the 23rd night when the Prophet ﷺ, or the 23rd day when he went into Mecca, or the 27th night when Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi rahimahullah went into Hittin, or went into Jerusalem, that they were not making dua with that in mind, that they know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees, and you're asking Allah to decree victory for them, then you're missing out. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decree victory for our brothers and sisters. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we sooner than later get to pray in a free Masjid al-Aqsa. And that every single one of these people is compensated in this life or the hereafter or both. Dear brothers and sisters, there's another thing, subhanAllah, just something that connects to Laylatul Qadr. Of the du'as that the Prophet ﷺ would make, and he made it in Al-Ahzab, in the trench. And subhanAllah, I was thinking about this, and it only occurred to me this year. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. When you talk about the greatness of Allah and what Allah has done for this world, and the quote-unquote impossible feats that we attribute, right? The miracles, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is the month in which He revealed the Quran. Laylatul Qadr is the night in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he raised up his hands and he called upon his Lord who saved Abraham from the fire, his Lord who saved Moses from the sea, from the Pharaoh, his Lord who saved Ayyub alayhi salam, all of the Prophets alayhi salam, Yusuf alayhi salam from the well and then prison and slavery. When he called upon Allah Azza wa Jal with all these attributes, what's the first thing he said in Al-Ahzab? Allahumma munzil al-kitab. Allahumma munzil al-kitab. Oh Allah, the one who revealed the book. Imagine you making this dua, you calling upon Allah with this dua on the night that He revealed the book. You're certainly doing so in the month that He revealed the book. Allahumma munzil al-kitab, sari' al-hisab, مجري السحاب هازم الأحزاب اهزمهم وزلزلهم. Memorize this dua inshaAllah ta'ala. Allahumma munzil al-kitab. Repeat after me. Allahumma munzil al-kitab. O Allah, the revealer of the book. Sari' al-hisab. Sari' al-hisab. The one who is swift in his reckoning. Mujri as-sahab. The one who controls the clouds. What is more remarkable than the control of the clouds and the rain is the revelation of the Quran. But you're calling upon Allah who created the earth and can move the earth. Mujri as-sahab, hazim al-ahzab, hazim al-ahzab, the one who defeats the armies. And subhanAllah, al-ahzab are these multiple armies. And we know that our people in Gaza are not just fighting one army, unfortunately. Multiple forces, and we need only one to overcome them all. Hazim al-ahzab, hazim al-ahzab, ihzimhum wa zalzilhum, ihzimhum wa zalzilhum. Defeat them and shake them. Just as we make dua for firmness for our brothers and sisters, we make dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shake the oppressors who think they have such immunity in this world and who do not fear the consequences of their actions in this life and the next. Make these du'as for power. Make these du'as for victory. Make these du'as for decree. Make du'a to the one who revealed the book to reveal victory to us in this year. And subhanAllah, we have gone in these cycles. No one last Ramadan thought we would be here this Ramadan. You know, subhanAllah, the people of Gaza are used to the Israelis being aggressive in Ramadan. Al-Aqsa is used to the yearly aggressions in Ramadan. No one thought it would get to this. But the days switch. تِلْكَ الْأَيَامَ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. There's a day of hardship and a day of victory. And inshaAllah ta'ala, through the du'as of the Ummah and the efforts of the Ummah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us a change. But it needs you, dear brothers and sisters, to make dua as if the world depends on your dua. And that's the last thing I'm going to say. Make your dua so sincerely as if the whole world depends on your dua. Don't belittle your dua. Don't think, who am I to make dua and what's my dua going to change things? Make dua as if it all depends on you. As if your dua, because you're calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who controls all circumstances, as if your dua can change the world, because it can. So this moment and these nights, dear brothers and sisters, bring them in. Bring them in. Don't isolate them. Don't leave them to your last sajda when you're barely awake. Bring them in. Bring them into your personal du'as. And subhanAllah, you'll find that perhaps when you make dua for them, your personal du'as will also find more elevation through that. And you'll find that the things that you are so stressed out about and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for on a personal level are really not that important to you right now. And I hate to put it that way, but it's important as well. Why is it that we cry and we push ourselves and we move ourselves so much when we're making dua for something for ourselves? But for our ummah, we can only spare a few words. Exert yourself. And inshallah ta'ala, this will be a year of victory bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And this will be a night of victory bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give our brothers and sisters victory. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to feed the hungry. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal the wounded. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect the children and the innocents all over the world. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant our brothers and sisters victory over their arrogant oppressors and to allow us to be alongside them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to the ways in which we can support them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who revealed the book and inspired this ummah with the Quran, to fill us with the Quran and to allow the Quran to bring tranquility into our hearts and steadfastness in our feet. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pour upon our brothers and sisters and upon us the patience that is needed so that we can continue to strive until we see that victory that He has promised. Allahumma ameen wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.